Hello folks, this is Sula speaking. You're listening to another video for Teamfight Tactics. This is one final game that I'm going to do from the set 5.5 revival. Pretty much reached the end of that. I'm kind of getting tired of this game mode because it's not very well balanced. It's mostly a loot fiesta. But I did want to do one more game here on YouTube just because I did end up getting a fun game. And this one's going to be a play from behind game. It's going to be a game where I have to try to come back from a bad start. So we're going to be focusing on the big recovery in this game and look at some ways to get back into a game that's not going well. Now here on the initial portal, you might notice that 7 of the 8 players all ran to loot subscription. I was like, really? Do we have to do loot subscription again? And of course, yes, we do, because apparently I'm one of the few people that just wants to play a normal game of Teamfight Tactics. Apparently, the vast majority of the player base wants to do insane, crazy loot nonsense. And I mean, I guess I can understand that. I can see why it's fun, but it's like when every game is like this, it just gets really frustrating for that to happen. So, all right, we're going to do another crazy, insane loot drop, bizarro fiesta in this game as well, apparently. And I'm just going to have to do my best to play around that. So by this point in time, as I said, I had mostly finished the pass, or at least as much of the event pass as I wanted to play into. At least as much of the event pass as I wanted to play into. And I was trying to play some things I hadn't really played. For instance, I hadn't really done a game where I played into, say, Forgotten Trade. I didn't really have a game where I played into Nightbringer Trade. I did want to try to experiment with them, so I was trying to lean in some of those directions, but I was looking at what came here. The most noteworthy things that happen at the beginning of this game are I get a Brand and I get a Syndra, and when I see that, my thinking is, well, this actually could be a pretty good redeemed game, and the reason for that is I've got the Syndra, who is a useful 2-cost, who obviously plays into redeemed, and I've also got the Brand, and Brand is a good item holder for Vel'Koz. Not ideal, because Brand is a low mana cost unit who wants blue buff, whereas Vel'Koz is a high mana cost user who prefers Spear of Shojin, but like I could put a Spear of Shojin on the Brand. It's not as good as a blue buff, but it's still not a bad item to put on him. So that's what I was thinking at this point in time. And then I get another Leona and I'm like, okay, so this definitely feels like a game where I can just play into Redemption or Redeem trait, and we'll just look to go from there. Note I do get this though, Fiendish Farewell. This is the Hellion augment that causes your Hellion portal to do tons of additional damage, but I already did put a Hellions game on YouTube, so I didn't really want to play that. I was like, alright, I guess I'll take what doesn't kill you. Gain 2 gold after losing a player combat. Gain a random component after every 4 losses. The game would then end up sending me up nothing but Hellions, like for ages and ages and ages, and I kind of wish I had taken that Hellion augment, because that would have been pretty good. As it turns out, the initial portal that we got, the one that gives us all that free loot nonsense, it's going to give us everyone a support anvil. So that's the initial thing we get. We're going to get something else on every single stage. Whatever, it's going to be different on every stage, but they're all going to be like crazy amounts of loot. So again, I'm still thinking I'm going to play into Redeemed here. I go ahead and level to level 4, and I'm going to position to try to take advantage of that Aegis of the Legion, but then I see this person's also playing Redeemed, and I was like, alright, well, I guess I'm going to be contested by this person. They have the Redeemed Road to Redemption, which causes Redeemed units to get a heal as Redeemed units die. It's very strong, and then I'm looking around, wait, there's another person playing Redeemed, and another person playing, I was like, wait, what? There's 3 other people playing Redeemed in this lobby? Are you kidding me? So I'm like gonna pause here for a second and double check that I didn't just like misclick this, but I was like, okay, the person I hit has a Redeemed augment, so they're definitely going to play into Redeemed. They'd be silly not to. So like, what else is there in this lobby? All right, skirmishers. There's the Redeemed player I just hit. There's let's see, Cannoneer, another Redeemed player, and then another Redeemed player, and then another skirmishers player. It's like, okay, there's 3 other people playing Redeemed boards in this game. I cannot look to play Redeemed. This is not going to work in this lobby. I can't play a 4-way contested Redeemed, especially because one of those other players has a better setup than I have anyway. So I need to try to pivot and play something else is what I'm thinking. By the way, notice my shop again is overflowing with Hellions. I was like, you know, I really should have taken that Hellion one. Yes, there is another person playing Hellions, but like that is a very, very strong augment. The one that your portal does additional damage. It's like a 3.5 average finish augment. And yes, a bunch of the augments are really, really busted. Most notably the Dawnbringer's Morning Dew, which has a 3.1 average placement, and yet the developers are not nerfing that in the next patch. I actually think that patch is already going to be out by the time this video gets posted on YouTube. But yeah, so they just don't care. They obviously see this game mode as just a for fun game mode, and they're like not going to bother balancing stuff. Even if an augment has 3.1 average finish, they just don't care. So, I mean, I am getting some value from my augment, the one where every time I lose a round, I get 2 gold. So I'm getting some value from that. But now I really do need to pivot out of this. So I was like, all right, well, I've got this set here. You know what? I looked at the boards. Absolutely no one is playing Dawnbringers. I'm going to head in that direction. This is my favorite comp. I like playing Dawnbringers. If it's completely uncontested, I should have reasonably good luck at hitting some of this stuff. So I'll put these tank items on a set. And yes, earlier in the game, I think I had 1 or 2 Gragas's, and I sold them because I didn't think I was playing Dawnbringers in this game, but it was just no one else is playing that trait. It's very strong. It's one of the strongest traits. I know how to build that board. And by the way, look at my shop again. I just want to keep emphasizing this. The shop is full of Hellions again. I was like, oh my god, is the game just going to give me nothing but Hellions the entire game? Well, so far that's what it's been doing. So all I can really do is sell stuff so I get up to 10 gold and try to make a little bit of additional econ here. So that's about all I can do. But these rounds have not gone very well, and they have not been very close rounds. So it's a bit of a rough start here, but at least what doesn't kill you will give me some benefit here, and then I'll have to look to go ahead and try to take some other stuff. All right, so now it's time to go for the carousel. I am first pick because I've lost every round, so I do get first pick. I did think about grabbing the Zyra with the rod, because that would allow me to put Spellweaver trait in on the brand, and it also would get me 2/3 of the way to 2 Draconic. So that was a possibility, but then I was thinking, you know, if I am going to go into Dawnbringers, I need a blue buff desperately. I have to get 2 tiers. If I've got first pick on the carousel, I probably should take advantage of the fact that I'm first pick to get one of these tiers, because I need 2 of them. I have to have a blue buff for Karma if I'm going to play into Dawnbringers. That is the highest priority, otherwise the comp doesn't work. So we'll go ahead and do that. And by the way, again, I am continuing to get this extra gold, which is pretty nice. So we'll go ahead, look to make use of that. Unfortunately, my early economy was slowed because I was holding a ton of units on my bench in the early game because I couldn't figure out what the heck I was going to play. So my early econ got slowed down, and like now I'm trying to recover from that. I'm not going to level 5 here, which I would typically do, but I mean, I'm lost streaking here, so there's not really any reason. Then I belatedly realized that there is a Sejuani in the store. I might as well put her on the board for Brawlers, and I guess I did hit a 2-star set, so I'm starting to get a few pieces, but I'm like a long way away from being there. And like this board that's already level 5 has multiple 2-star units on it, is just way stronger than anything I'm fielding right now. So can I kill 1 unit? It would be nice to kill 1, but no, that's not going to happen there. So that was an especially bad loss. The only upside is my augment that I took will give me another 2 gold, and it will actually give me a component because you get a component after every 4 losses. They don't have to be in a row, it's just every 4 losses, so I will get a bonus component here. Again, I don't like loss streaking through the early game. Oh, by the way, I could also sell the Kazakhs here, but I was like, if I want to play Dawnbringers later, I might need this Kazakh, so I was like, all right, I probably should have sold to get to 20 so I could pick up an additional 2 gold. Because, like, now I get the additional 2 gold, but, like, I would have had an additional gold piece if I'd sold, so I would already be at 29. And then if I won the round, I could be at 30. All right, so we get an additional component. It's another sword. This is really not what I want. Dawnbringers team compositions are not AD-focused team compositions. I mean, you can try to play through Riven and Riven and Nidalee. Nidalee, of course, does physical damage with her autos, but then her ability causes her to deal bonus magic damage, so she's kind of an awkward unit to itemize. Riven, though, deals physical damage, so you can always put AD items on Riven, but I don't feel like Riven is just that strong of a unit. I mean, like, she's okay, but 3-starring a Riven is really not going to win you a game in this game mode because there's just so much loot, and we have a portal that's going to give us additional loot as well. So, like, trying to 3-star Riven really is not going to win me a lobby. I mean, it could back in the original game, but, like, this is the loot fiesta version of set 5. So it's usually not that useful trying to itemize the Riven. So, anyway, I will put the sword on her, but I'm really not looking to make AD items. There's just not a lot I can do with AD items. So I've got 2 swords already, and I was like, Not only did I lost streak all the way through stage 2, I'm not even that rich. Like, I'm at 28 gold, but I'm only level 4. I'm not level 5 here, so I'm really not that wealthy in this game either. The one thing I do get is I get the early Fiddlesticks, so I'll look to play that. That sounds fine. I mean, Fiddlesticks doesn't make any traits, but I can at least play him. And I'll continue to hold some of these Dawnbringer units. So now I'm 2/3 of the way to Abomination. So that is a possibility. If I could find a Nunu right now, I'd be pretty happy with that. I'd take out the Sejuani and play Nunu for Abomination trait. That would at least give me something. And I mean, this doesn't really look like a Dawnbringer's board, like, at all. Really does not look like a Dawnbringer's board, but is the direction I am heading right now. It's not going to be playing heavily into vertical Dawnbringers. By the way, I could hold the Udyr here to potentially play Draconic, but I thought that my board was weak enough. I do get one big benefit here, though, is I get a Reforger, and I was like, I have 3 swords? Well, we're going to have to reforge that. And I also do hit the 2-star Brand, and that's pretty nice, because Brand I'm going to be carrying through here. So, like, if I had held the Udyr, I could have potentially tried to go into Draconic, but my situation's bad enough. I'm not sure I really want to go into a Lost Streaking Econ trait here. All right, so I have the 3 swords. There's no way I can ever use 3 swords here. I mean, I could do Spear of Shojin, I guess, but I'm going to make a Deathblade. I'm going to reforge all of these, and I get much, much better items here. I get an Archangel Staff, which is a great Karma item. I get another Tear, so I can make blue buff, and I'll go ahead and put them both on Brand. Then I also made a Gargoyle Stoneplate, and I had the leftover vest along with a belt, so I went ahead and made Gargoyle Stoneplate as well. So now Set actually has pretty good tank items, especially for early in the game. These are pretty good tank items. The Gargoyle Stoneplate will scale well into the late game. The, what's it called? The Sunfire will not scale especially well into the late game. But we're making progress. Brand now actually does real damage. He's got Spellweaver trade in with the Zyra, and he's going to toss out those fireballs. As a reminder, Brand's ability puts a damage over time effect on enemies. It does a ton of damage, but it burns over 12 seconds, so it's a very slow acting ability. And yeah, there I am going to sell a Kha'Zix to get to 50 gold. So, okay. All right, hopefully I can start to stabilize here. Looking at the different options, let's see. It's definitely not today. Definitely not today. It's definitely not You Have My Sword, and I don't think Vertically Inclined is good here either. All right, so some interesting stuff. I do have a decent economic setup in the sense that I am now going to, play the Gragas for Brawler trade. A bit of a downgrade maybe to go from Sejuani to Gragas, but I do want to get Dawnbringer in. I'm going to have to hold these Gragases anyway. It's a little late in the game to be finding Gragas, but I'll go ahead and pick him up. And then there is a Vel'Koz in my store, so I was like, all right, I guess I'll play the Vel'Koz. I'm trying to position here in such a way that I will be getting the Aegis of the Legion bonus. It gives armor and magic resistance to anyone who stands next to the unit or directly behind them. So I'm trying to position to get that value as well. And then the other thing is I have to try to position such that I can keep the Vel'Koz safe in these fights. So I think I'm starting to get there. Hitting the 2-star Brand is a definite help. Also Brand, I really wish he was 1 range higher. He's like 3 range instead of 4 range, so he's always walking up towards other people at the start of the fight. But I just need him to keep casting those fireballs, keep burning the enemy team. He's going to get low, but he gets off 1 more fireball. And so I'm actually going to beat that redeemed player, which is a little surprising because I don't think my board is that great yet. But okay, I'll go on the little mini win streak here, win 2 rounds in a row. Maybe my board's starting to turn the corner at least a little bit here. And I'll continue picking up some Dawnbringer units. We're going to continue to play into that. Again, I'd love to get Abomination trade in play because I've got Brand and the Fiddlesticks on my board, but I haven't seen Nunu yet. Would have to find Nunu in order to play that. So again, we're just kind of chilling here, trying to stabilize as best we can. I lost a lot of health on stage 2. I lost almost 30 health on stage 2, which is pretty bad. So that's definitely shrunk my margin for error. The one good thing is I did get a fair amount of econ off of my augment. The one that gave me extra gold for losing rounds actually came in handy in this setup here. So Lost Streaking for the win in stage 2. And hopefully going to get an improvement on that here in stage 3. All right, so in this round, this is actually this is the Hellions board. There is another person playing Hellions, so I would have been contested if I'd gone for Hellions. It's not a good matchup for the board I have right now, and that's because Brand's fireballs are all single target damage, and it just like takes such a long time for Brand's fireballs to burn something down. The fact that Hellions keep jumping out of the portals at smaller sizes is just a bad matchup for him because he can't hit more than 1 target at a time. It's actually the reverse of Karma. Karma's actually really good against Hellions because Karma spreads out damage on multiple targets. Karma's weakness is the opposite. Karma's very bad at single target damage, but she's good against lots and lots of weak targets, which is exactly what we had there. For this round, I was hoping there might be a Karma on the board. There is no Karma here on the board, so I will just have to take the best I can out of these particular options. So I decided I'm going to grab the belt. I could always use a little bit more frontline here. If I would happen to get a spatula, I could also make a Dawnbringer emblem. There's a decent chance that this Loot Fiesta portal that we have is going to give everybody spatulas at some point. So I can take this, I can maybe make a Dawnbringer emblem, and it was also on a 4 gold Aphelios. I just want to get an Aphelios out of the pool, because someone will surely be playing this unit, and I would prefer that they not have a chance to play this one. Alright, so once again, I'm back on a lost streak, or at least lost the first game. So that's an additional 2 gold there. And economically, I'm definitely getting there. I should be able to go... I mean, I could go level 7 right now, but there isn't really much point in going level 7 here, because what would I play? I don't really have a unit to play. Like, again, if I had a Nunu or something in my shop, maybe I'd look to play the Abomination, but I don't really have a whole lot. As I said, I don't really have anything in particular to play, so we'll just stay here. And if we lose a round, I mean, we just get another 2 gold, and we make more progress towards getting another component, so... Alright, that seems about the best I can do here. I'm up against a Forgotten board. This person has the augment where they get the improved Runin's Hurricane. I used that in my Hellions game, and I put it on Kled, and it was really effective. So this fight's somewhat close. It actually is closer than it looks. I know I lose with 4 units on the enemy board, but look, they're all very, very low. I think if my front line had held in there just a tiny bit longer, Brand's Fireballs could have burned down the Draven and the MF, and we might have won the round because they really had no damage once those units go down. But unfortunately, it's not enough, so is what it is. Now we have a chance to get our Radiant item, and I really want a damage item here for Karma. So we'll go ahead and pick up the 2-star Soraka, get another 2 gold, and let's see what we get here. All right, well, there's really no option. I'm just going to have to take the Baron's Gift, which is the 2-star, or the Radiant version of Gnasher's Tooth. After casting an ability, gain 120% attack speed for 8 seconds. That's pretty good. I really don't need another frontline item. I have plenty of frontline already, and I already have the Blue Bluff plus Archangels combo there. So I was just hoping for something that would give me more AP for Karma. I would have preferred like a Deathcap or a Morello's or something like that, or maybe Gunblade or a Jeweled Gauntlet. Any of those would have been fine. But the Gnasher's Tooth is certainly not bad. I mean, Karma's going to get her first cast off very quickly, and then she'll have crazy attack speed. Also, Brand, why? Brand runs forward right into the middle of the enemy team here. It's like, Brand, what are you doing? So he's going to get focused very early on in the fight. This is a 6 skirmisher board. And we actually do kill a decent chunk of the board that really was on like 2% HP. But it is going to be another loss. So after winning 2 rounds very quickly there, I then lost another 3 rounds. So right back to loss streak. And I'm down on 49 HP, which is looking kind of rough. Looking kind of rough here. I really don't like being this low on health at the end of stage 3. On the plus side, I will get another component because I've actually lost 8 rounds at this point. So I'm going to get another component and another 2 gold. So I have been fed an awful lot of econ from this loss streak. But the problem is I'm getting pretty close to dying. So margin for error is not really there. Again, the cloak is not really what I want here. Definitely not what I'm looking for. So I'll just toss another Dawnbringer unit on the board for right now. I think I've got the, what is it, the Nidalee over there. Now, I'm hoping to get to level 8, and I really, really, really need to stabilize here. I cannot keep bleeding out this much health. I've lost, what is it, half my health already, and we're kind of still in the early stages of the game. So I'm going to need to make some bold plays here if I'm going to, at the very least, stabilize. And again, I get more frontline items again. I was like, geez, can I get some more AP stuff? So I'm going to get the drop this round is a 2-star version of a 3 cost. There's Karma. Fortunately, Karma shows up quickly, and that's going to help a lot. So we'll pick this up. There's another Fiddlesticks I should buy here as well. So this will get us the 6 Dawnbringers in. I'm going to roll very, very aggressively here. By the way, I could play Nunu, but I've already moved out of Abomination trait. So we're going to keep rolling. And I already have the 2-star Fiddle, so I could have opted to try to go for 3-star Fiddles, but I really did not have the economy right now. I needed to focus on grabbing Dawnbringer units. So we're going to go ahead and move our items over to the Karma, try to 2-star these units. Where's the Gnashers? There we go. So I have quickly moved into 6 Dawnbringers, 2 Brawlers. And now I have some leftover items here. I need to figure out what units I want to put these on, but I will wait and see what I can get for this last augment. Note that even having a 1-star Karma makes a humongous difference on my board. She just deals so much damage if you can keep her safe in the fights. There she goes. She popped the Vel'Koz there in the back lines. And these are very good items for Karma. She doesn't have any healing, but she does have Dawnbringer traits. That gives her some healing. Now for the final augment, look at these options here. Road Rejuvenation's not going to do anything. Teaming Up's not going to do much. I could go for more gold, but I'm going to take this Duo Q. You get 2 5-cost units and 2 additional components. Now, the Cloaks popping out of there, not terribly useful, but oh, I got a Heimer, and I also got a Gwen. This is perfect. This is perfect. I can look to play through these units. So one nice thing about a Dawnbringer's board is Dawnbringers can play almost any 4-cost, or excuse me, almost any 5-cost is playable. I think Viego is like one of the very few ones, but even with Viego, you can technically play with Kha'Zix if you want to. So I am going to look to itemize now the Heimer and itemize the Gwen, and they're going to be very key units for me. So I have too many cloaks. I don't want this many cloaks. I get a sword. I was like, you know what? Let's just make a Bloodthirster for Gwen. I'm fully aware that Gwen deals magic damage and not physical damage, but this is just going to help keep her safe in fights because it's going to allow her to lifesteal, which is one of the things she most needs. And Gwen is a very busted unit here in the set 5 revival. Her average place, she's a 5-cost, of course, but her average placement is like 3.5 or 3.4, something like that. It's like she is by far, and I mean by far, the best 5-cost out of all the 5 costs. She's just like ridiculously, stupidly overtuned in this build, and you should pretty much shove her on the board no matter what. She comes with Mystic Trait, which is going to combine very well with the Fiddlesticks, so that's nice. By the way, I'm looking for one more Karma. If I can find one more Karma, I think I can maybe go to level 9 here, because I think my board would actually be pretty stable. So I'm trying to roll aggressively here. Remember, I need to preserve health, and there it is. I do get kind of lucky. I do find the 3 karmas that I need. And so now this is going to allow me to look to try to go to level 9. And then on level 9, I'll try to play some better units. I do need to improve my front line overall. It's not especially great right now, but we're just trying to hang in there as best we can. Anyway, back to Gwen. So as I said, she brings a really useful trait in the form that she has Mystic Trait innate. So because I'm already playing Fiddlesticks on my board, that does give me Mystic 2, which is, I think it's like 30 MR for the entire team, something like that. It's very, yeah, 30 magic resistance for the whole team. That's a really useful team-wide ability. And in addition to that, Gwen as a unit just, I mean, she's just super good. Her ability is called Skip and Slash. She dashes around and performs 3 scissored snaps in a cone. Deals magic damage plus a percentage of the target's maximum health. She also steals armor and magic resist on the target. And every other cast she deals, she does an additional snip. So on her, you basically just want healing. And if you can, try to get like a blue buff on her. She does deal magic damage, so like the Bloodthirster is not incredible, but it's still serviceable. It still gives her some healing. Like Gunblade is better, but this is still not bad. And then it's good to get some kind of an item that gives tankiness, so like Titans is fine. I actually saw the rod here. I was like, you know what? Why don't we just put Crown Guard on her? It's going to make her tankier. When the Crown Guard effect goes off, she gets a shield and then gets additional ability power. I think that's actually pretty decent. So Gwen can use a lot of items. You don't just want to go raw damage on Gwen. You do want to get kind of a mixture of tankiness and some healing, because she does enough damage on her own. But yeah, I'll use these items, Crown Guard and Bloodthirster, and then the Quicksilver Sash, of course, means she can't get crowd controlled, which is always good on melee units, even if there's somebody like Gwen who deals magic damage. It might be a little bit better on physical damage dealers, but it's certainly not bad on her. So we're playing through the Karma, and then we're playing through the Gwen. Note that I did drop down to 4 Dawnbringers, but it's pretty much always worthwhile to drop down to lower tiers of Dawnbringer if you can just play more 4 and 5 cost units. Like what would Nidalee and Riven even be doing on this board? They're not very useful, I'm afraid. So I'm also going to pick up Iverns. I'd love to play Ivern when I get to level 9. I don't think I can fit him on the board right now because I'd have to take out like Heimer or Gwen or something, and I don't think I can move the tank items off set. So look at that, Set is still alive in this fight, and so is Karma, and that's going to be enough for us to win this fight. So again, Karma having really good items and hitting the early 2-star Karma has flipped this game, but the key point is I did roll super aggressively. Like I recognized that I could not just sit there and like very passively try to econ my way to level up to level 9. Or whatever, that I had to go to level 8 and then roll down very, very aggressively, because if I didn't hit, then I was just going to die. But I had to do something there. And like maybe there are some games where, you know, you roll it aggressively and it just fails and you go out in 7th or 8th, and sometimes that just happens and there's nothing you can do about it. But I had to make sure that I was doing what I could to avoid that. Now, I am making sure to scout these other teams. There is a player who has a Viego, and it's this person who's on 10 HP. I was like, okay, they have a Viego. If the Viego jumps on my Karma and steals away Karma, then I will 100% lose any fight where that happens. So I need to make sure that I bunch up to protect against that. And oh, look at this. Scouting for the win. Here comes the Viego, but does the Viego jump on Karma? No. The Viego jumps on, oh, interesting, Heimer. Okay, that's not quite the unit I wanted, but the Heimer just dies before he gets his ability cast off. So that wasn't really that bad. I mean, it sucked that my Heimer didn't cast, but It was not, that Viego was not able to steal away the Heimer from my team, and we're actually going to knock that player out. So they don't even make it to the end of stage. They don't even make it to the end of stage 4. And I went from all those losses into a full win streak, 5 straight wins on stage 4. Again, I did get a bit lucky, but I was able to get a good augment, the one that gave me. Oh, and here I'm checking out the Radiant Blessing. What is the Radiant Blessing going to give? Apparently, it's 2 Thief's Gloves, and I was like, oh, cool, 2 Thief's Gloves. So I can certainly do that. I can Thief's Gloves the Ivern when I level up and play Ivern, and then I can Thief's Gloves the Fiddlesticks. They're both 4-cost units. I'll have Revenant in play, which will give those units a revive once I get them in. And if I can find Volibear, then I'll have another tier of Revenant as well. And by the way, look at all this. We're going to get a duplicator here. Okay, that's not bad. And then a ton of loot again. So I was like, all right, well, more loot. Let's go ahead and keep picking up units here. And then this is this round. So remember how we had that crazy loot portal at the beginning of the game? Everybody gets this at the beginning of this stage. So everybody's going to get more loot as well. Even more loot here. So I was looking at these options. I was like, do I want to put Hand of Justice on Gwen? It might not be bad to do that. It might be better than something that she's got. So anyway, there's another Gwen. And there's yet another Gwen. I was like, oh, okay. And by the way, there's also a Teemo here in the store. So I was like, okay, do I want to play Teemo? Is it worthwhile to play Teemo on this board? I was trying to figure out who the heck to put this on. So I was trying to debate, but I think I decided, you know what, let's just buy the Teemo, and then I can actually make another Thief's Glove here. So I'll go ahead and do double Thief's Gloves. We'll just stuff this one on Soraka for right now, as she dies to the enemy Teemo, who is firing off, what is it, the little mushroom bombs there. So anyway, I'll win that round, and apparently I don't quite knock that player out. Or no, I did. I did knock that player out. Okay. So I've knocked out players in the last 2 rounds, and I decided, you know what, I'll go ahead and buy the Teemo. Why not? Maybe I'll have better luck hitting Teemo than Heimerdinger. Maybe. We'll just have to wait and see. So anyway, I'm still rolling it down. There's a Voli, so I'm definitely going to play Voli. I would prefer to put these tank items on a Garen, because Garen can stand up there and tank a lot longer. Anyway, here's a Teemo. I was like, all right, you know what? I'll just duplicate the Teemo for Teemo 2-star. So I'll put my tank items back on Volibear. And by the way, I could have been picking up Fiddlesticks here as well. And yes, I did burn my duplicator on a Teemo to save some health. But I was like, okay, I got to play him over something. Let's go ahead and put the Hand of Justice on him. So I do have 2-star Teemo now. I mean, that's worth playing, and I was able to use the duplicator to avoid losing any health there. This is going to make it harder to hit like a 3-star 4-cost, but I don't hate the play. Well, I mean, I made it, so obviously there was a reason. But like 2-star Teemo is going to be very, very strong on this board. Teemo's mushrooms hit pretty hard. Now my only regret is I wish instead of taking the Hand of Justice, I wish that I had taken a Gnasher's Tooth, because that was also an option on that last. Item anvil that I pulled there, but I did not know I was going to have 2-star Teemo when I was pulling that. So anyway, I will grab the extra karmas. Here's an extra Volibear. By the way, the one unit that still hasn't shown up yet is Garen. Oh, and I'm going to get the Radiant Blessing, which is hilarious because I actually got it not from losing rounds. I won 7 rounds in a row. I got it because I bought 2 Teemos. So anyway, I decide here, you know what? I've got 2-star Teemo. I don't think I can play Heimer and Teemo. Since I hit the 2-star Heimer, or excuse me, since I hit the 2-star Teemo, I think I'll just give up on Heimer for this game. That does leave me without a good heal cut, but I guess I technically do have a Sunfire Cape, so I do have at least 1 heal cut on my board. But I mean, losing Heimer is a bit of a shame. I would love to be able to play this unit, but I'd have to give up something, and I don't want to give up any of these other units. Like, I'd have to drop the Fiddlesticks, but he's giving me Mystic Trait and a rank of Revenant, and he's just a solid unit overall. I don't think that that's worth it. So we are on the somewhat awkward 3 Invoker. But I still think it's pretty decent. I guess I could technically try to go to level 10 now and put in Syndra, but I'm not sure that the game's going to last long enough for that. So I think I'll just stay here and continue seeing what I can roll and see what I can hit. I also really want to find Garen. I want to get Garen on the board pretty badly here. Garen's ability is an MR Shred, and I don't have an MR Shred on my team. By the way, there's a Garen. I'd certainly take that. If I couldn't get that, then I'd go ahead and take the whatchamacallit, the Ionic Spark that's on the Heimerdinger. That would be nice. But both of them get grabbed instantly, so I was like, all right. Are there any items here that I want? It's mostly AD items and tank items. I don't really need either of them right now. So I was like, all right. I mean, out of these options, I guess I could take the Dragon's Cloak. But you know what? Let's make this more silly. Let's go ahead and take the Hellion Emblem. I think that that's about as good as a Dragon's Cloak here, because why not? We'll just put this on somebody, and this will actually give Teemo some additional attack speed, so it's not terrible. Oh, by the way, look how many Fiddlesticks I kept seeing in the store of this game. If I had just been grabbing Fiddlesticks as well as Karmas, Might have been able to get Fiddlesticks 3-star, but I wasn't sure I had enough econ to do that, so I did not end up picking them up. I decided I would just go for Karmas, and if I hit the Karma 3-star, then great, and if not, it wasn't the end of the world. So I'm actually now tops in the lobby in health. I'm finally about to be able to make 2-star Gragas, and I can actually knock another player out of the lobby if I win this round. So now that I have the 2-star Volibear, my front line definitely did get better. I'm hoping that I can just keep the Karma safe and hit that back line. And this person's playing kind of a weird board that has like Lucian on a Forgotten board. So anyway, I'm going to win that, and then I knock my 3rd player out of the game. So continuing to take people out of the lobby. One person got knocked out, not by me. So, all right, now we're down to just 4 remaining players. So, as I said, I don't think I have enough time to get to level 10, so I'll just keep picking these up. There's another Karma. I'll go ahead and lock for that. So that does get me to a potential 6 Karmas. So I'll just keep holding on here. Remember, I did burn the duplicator earlier, but I think it was absolutely worth it to get the 2-star Teemo. I'm actually not sure I win these rounds if I don't have 2-star Teemo. Now I'm up against this redeemed player who looks very scary. I think they're level 10. Oh yeah, this is the person who took the redeemed emblem earlier in the game. And they're level 10, so, okay. I decided I would move the Soraka out of the way. Yeah, here we go. They're level 10. They have 2-star Heimer, and they have a Kale. The good news is they haven't fully itemized Kale. Also, they're very clumped, so they are super susceptible to getting hit by Volibear and by getting hit by my Teemo. Now, I am also super clumped, so I'm also somewhat at risk of that. But Teemo is still alive. Karma's still alive. Can we pop the Kale? I get another great Volibear ult, and okay, I'm going to win that. So that's yet another player knocked out of the lobby. Is that the 4th player I've knocked out of the lobby? I think it is. So I am just picking people off here in this game, and that does take me to 6 Karma, so I only need 2 more. Or 3 more, excuse me. I didn't use the duplicator, so I do still need... I used the duplicator, so I still need 3 more. Still looking for Garen, by the way. I would take out the Nidalee. I don't really need... Nidalee's not doing anything in this team comp. I'd much rather have Garen. But I'm getting there. I mean, I've kind of 2-starred almost everything. 2-star Teemo, 2-star Gwen, 2-star Volibear. Like, these are some pretty strong 5 costs. So I'm reasonably happy with that. And what are we going to get here? We're going to get some more loot. Let's try to sell. And then we've got another item anvil. I want another Teemo item here because Teemo's doing a lot of damage. I was like, oh, okay, you know what? Let's just go for the death cap. Why not? We'll just go with that. He already has some attack speed. And our loot drop is nothing this round. We actually get the fishbone, so it's a total nothing. All right, now I'm going to put this on. I'm going to take out the Nidalee, put in the Garen. I don't really have anyone to put the emblem on. You know what I could... Oh, you know what I could have done? What I should have done is I should have popped the Thief's Glove off of Soraka and put the Hellion's emblem on her. There's 7 Karmas. Okay. We're getting there. There's another Teemo, but I don't need another Teemo. So, okay, 7 Karmas. And now I'm up against a Skirmisher player. This person has a bunch of skirmishers. Again, skirmishers are not great in the late game, though. They don't have like a 3... They have 8 skirmishers, but unlike the skirmishers game I posted on YouTube, where I hit 3-star Jax and I hit 3-star Lucian, skirmishers are not very good in the late game if you can't 3-star something. It's just a trait that's strong early in mid-game. It falls off late game. So even though they have an 8 skirmisher board, they're like still playing through the Olaf. So I'm going to take out that player as well for, I believe, my 5th kill of the game. So, okay. I've just been murdering this entire lobby here. So now it's down to just me and one other player. And all right, no more Karmas in the shop here. So now I just have to deal with this other player. But you know what the problem is? They just hit 3-star Vel'Koz. So I was like, okay, 3-star Vel'Koz. That's going to be trouble. They have an 8 redeemed board, so they're just playing vertical redeemed. I think that my board quality is very superior to them in every single way except for the 3-star Vel'Koz. So I'm going to try to position here. I'm going to put a dummy unit over on the right-hand side. Going to put the Soraka over here. So Vel'Koz will target the... Vel'Koz always targets the opposite corner. So he's going to focus that Soraka, hopefully. And if I can maybe get like a stun on the Vel'Koz in the middle of his beam, that would be pretty nice. There we go. We actually interrupted the last part of that beam over there. So Teemo's still getting his cast off. We've actually killed everything except the Vel'Koz now. But focuses the Karma. And oh, Teemo, why? Teemo throws his mushrooms at the wrong target. Oh, he threw them at the Aatrox instead of the Vel'Koz. Okay, but that fight was really close. I watched that fight and I was like, I think I can win this fight. It's definitely not unwinnable. There's another Karma, so I'm 1 off Karma. I also don't think this guy can kill me this round. So as long as I don't die this round, there's a chance there could be a Karma on the carousel, and then that would get me to 9 Karmas for Karma 3 style. But I still think I can win this fight. That was really, really close to winning that last round. If I have just slightly better fight RNG, I think we can kill that unit because the like that Kale over there does not have an Edge of Night, and the Kale doesn't have any healing. The Vel'Koz has no healing either. If the Vel'Koz had like a Gunblade, this would be very different because the Vel'Koz would be healing off the damage. But no, Vel'Koz has no healing over there, so all we have to do is chip down that unit, and we can win this fight. All right, so once again, this person did not reposition at all. Teemo got off a great ult. The initial beam is just going to hit the Ivern, did not actually kill the Ivern, so now we've killed everything else. Karma, one more cast. Oh, Gwen gets it. Karma does not get the cast, but Gwen dashes in there, kills the Vel'Koz, and Gwen's got this. So we're going to win this fight. And we take out the 3-star Vel'Koz to win the lobby. So yeah, you can sometimes win, even against people who have 3-star 4 costs, if you have a strong enough team and if the fight RNG goes your way. Now, to be fair, Vel'Koz is probably the worst 3-star 4 cost in this set revival. He's just not very good because he's so easy to interrupt his ult. But like if that person had just put like a Gunblade on the Vel'Koz, they 100% would have won that fight because he would have healed off all the damage he'd done and we'd never be able to kill him. Still, I will take it. I will take it, especially after that disastrous early game. I only lost one fight in the entire game after stage 4 began. So a good way to come back from a rough start. Anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed this video. Until next time, take care, folks. See you soon.